Shirley here with Jupiter point of Thales, and this is Venus hour on a Sol night, and the Sun is approaching Beta Persei, but also Uranus. Venus is 9 degrees Aries, and Mercury 7 degree Taurus. Mars that rules that composition is in 12 degrees Leo, and is ruled by the Sun, which is in Taurus. Ascendant 6 degrees Sagittarius to my Ketu, and midheaven 16 degrees Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. And this episode I'm going to take chart of Adolf Eichman and juxtapose it to several charts of people who saved people from the Second World War, from the concentration camps. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. The only reason I'm doing that in Nazi Germany is simply because it was so well documented that we have natal charts of people and names and natal charts of people who also saved people. Most things are not so documented and are usually framed as something other than Holocaust. So, so that is something that allows us to look at it as researchers, astrologers, and make the comparisons. So, first of all, let's begin with Adolf Eichmann. And that person needs no introduction, okay? High Nazi rank, did a lot of war crimes, and eventually brought to justice or executed in the land of Israel. And yeah, he was born 19 March 1906, Solingen, Germany, and died at 56 years old, 31 May 1962. Was hanged, executed. So we have a chart, so it's excellent chart. Ascendant 7 degrees Libra, midheaven 10 degrees Cancer. We have a Neptune-Uranus opposition, which we will also see in chart of the people who saved children. Pluto 20 degrees Gemini, and we have, oh, this is interesting, Ketu in 19 degrees Aquarius and Chiron in Aquarius. Moon 26 degrees Capricorn. Okay, lot of fortune for May. Then I guess, why am I looking at it right now? Let's see. What's in Capricorn? Nothing. I don't understand. Perhaps I will check later my release from Lot of Fortune. So Saturn, 8 degrees Pisces, close to Fomilaut, and this is remediating Neptune-Uranus opposition. Venus 6 degrees Aries, Mercury 16 degrees Aries, Sun 28 degrees Pisces, in a bisextile with the Moon in Capricorn, and with the Jupiter 1 degree Gemini, which is close to Sedna right now, and is close to my Chiron. It's funny when you have telepathy with your colleagues and they're like in your boat looking at like, that's Jupiter and your Chiron. Yes, I know that. You feel like you're not alone with that. So Mars 1 degree Taurus and Lilith 17 degrees Taurus. So let's see. First of all, what I don't find is the Deneb algae points that I found in at least 2 of the charts of the people who saved the children. Let's see, what else do I have here? The bisextile was protective of him. Okay, not all the way through, but protective. Yes, I don't. A lot of fortune in Antares, conjunct in Antares. It means that he would have fated events where he would be victorious, but in this case, that victory was not so good, okay, because he had to do war crimes. And that had to do with something to do with children, trade of weapon, but also for religious or philosophical. Okay, that could be the National Socialist Party. And that would have fated events. So just means that there were fated events regarding that. Do I see anything significant in this chart? Lilith 17 degrees Taurus. 17 is a number that for the Ubermensch project is meaningful. It's Lilith in Lilith's number. And that means that perhaps, and also 7 degree, this is the Isis and Osiris story. I don't know exactly what would that mean for the people who cloned him, or if he was cloned, what would be the objective. But it definitely marks him as a certain mythical story in the Ubermensch and thus in Irish myth. Some would say even Khazarian mafia myth. So this is one thing that comes to mind. But again, I don't know exactly what that means. Yes, Isis saved Osiris, but what is the point with that project? Also, no idea. Neptune again, 7 degrees Cancer. I don't have anything significant to say about it. Like, this could be a chart of any person, to be very honest. Okay, like there's nothing. There is Chiron in the same sign with Ketu, but it's like it's a normal chart. Very simply put, it's a normal chart. There's nothing that signifies here what would this person do, and that would get even more prevalent when we'll look at other charts. So let's begin with the charts of people that saved the children. Yes, no. I found a fake 10 shekels coin. I was thinking what to do with that. So that is Neptune in my second house. So first off, we have Gladys Aylward. And okay, this is to the people who saved people. Now, I don't know exactly if she saved the children or just saved people from the Holocaust. I will look at Schindler's chart as well. And we don't have ascendant. Again, this Neptune-Uranus opposition still somewhat in effect. Uranus-Pluto opposition. Okay, that's just the spirit of the time. Very likely Oppenheimer had this too. Hitler a little bit earlier. He had Pluto to Rahu, to my Rahu. Sorry, 6 degrees Gemini, 7 degrees Gemini. Yeah, the first things, Mercury, 23 degrees Aquarius. So this is Deneb Algedi. This is one chart. I will just Sun next to Fomalhaut. I will keep seeing. Okay, I will keep seeing what else come up there. And Saturn, third decan of Capricorn. Those things kept repeating themselves, so I will see how prevalent they are. And take a look at another chart. Harriet Tubman. Okay, to kill all evil men. This is interesting. I wonder if she has the 22. And what is her case? Okay, so this is... she was using astrology, I think. Okay. This is a Can I see chart. So, and this is military intelligence. Okay, this is showing stellium in Gemini. Ketu 6 degrees Gemini. Rahu 6 degrees Sagittarius. Moon in Sagittarius. And the midheaven, last decan of Capricorn. We do not have the Deneb Algedi point. She may have other things on Deneb Algedi. But so far, the last decan of Capricorn, which is a decan where you can command people to do stuff. Okay, if you use it in favor of humanity, it's kind of like a big commander that people obey for your commands. And you allocate things for other people to do. And it's not in big detail, but this is one interesting chart. I will definitely need to pay attention to this lady's chart more. Very significant for me. She's Rahu Ketu reversal. So those are, by the way, if you were astrologer or not, you do research, you run into someone that has Rahu Ketu reversal to you, check very well this chart, because this means that their life path is same telos as you, but the same life path as you, but different telos. Okay, so this is even in the same sign, but definitely on the degree, or almost on the degree. You have to check this and see, learn from this person. Okay, again, stellium in Gemini, Pluto, Neptune, 7 degrees Gemini, midheaven, Venus, Aldebaran. So this is being victorious. This is chart of Corey Ten Boom. And this is about being victorious, and she could be victorious over assets. Again, I know nothing about these people. I usually check the chart first and then the person. All these people saved people from being executed or being democided, genocided, and so on and so forth. So Aldebaran would definitely be needed, yes, in order to and this is 1944. We have Uranus transiting her midheaven and Venus. Okay, so this is where she would come to her rebellious, it would be a rebellious demonstration of her midheaven, of her life legacy, or what she came here to do. Anything more? Mars Capricorn, but this is middle decan of Capricorn. This is the prepper decan. I call it the prepper decan. And this is again by work of Austin Koppak about the deacons. And Saturn, 24 degrees Virgo, where now is Ketu, ascendant 15 degrees. So I don't see, here's what I don't see, is the Aquarius and the last decan of Capricorn. So this chart is different, but it's giving me Aldebaran. So for her, it was by the merit of being victorious over assets and land, but also if she had to do diplomacy, this is Venus, or her values being victorious. So her values win. So you see, this is every person has a card. You have to know what your card is when you're doing those things. And I will need to learn more about her. Raoul Wallenberg. So, my God, he died before his Saturn maturation. And this is again good chart. Another person that was busy saving people during World War II. And let me see what I see here. Andromeda constellation. This is the last decan of Aries. I see it several times now. I didn't pay attention to it at first, but Andromeda is actually very important because it is about the story of Andromeda. She was the famous damsel in distress, okay? That's the woman that was kidnapped to be tortured and saved from this situation, by the way, using the talisman of the beheaded Medusa Gorgon. And some even say that she's transformed Medusa Gorgon because she was saved, she was believed, she was tended to. And perhaps having points on this is important. Yes, but also Hitler had this Mercury in those very degrees. So he wasn't exactly saving damsels in distress, as far as I know. Maybe even private life, but not not all across humanity. Okay, yes, Saturn trine Uranus. Uranus, Lilith in Aquarius, but again, I don't have that Deneb Algedy. I do have Neptune on Procyon. And Procyon is a great denucleificator. Procyon, JFK had midheaven, and I think Saturn next to Procyon. Nelson Mandela, I think he has his sun next to Procyon. Yes, but also midheaven of Israel is next to Procyon, and we are kind of bombing ourselves. Anyway, we need to do more on the saving children. Rather than kidnapping them or trading them. Neptune, this is a person that could have the access to be favored, okay? And when you have the access to be favored, then you can sneak with Neptune, sneak. And in that case, yes, I guess it was children or people from war zones. Rao in Aries, Ketu Libra, Mercury 5 degrees Virgo, Mars 11 degrees Virgo, which could be useful, and Sun 11 degrees Leo. This could be useful because if you're on a suicide mission, having the suicide degrees can be useful. Okay, those are the elements. By the way, when Uranus ingresses into Gemini, we're going to have 3 planets on the suicide mission degree. So it can range anywhere from kamikaze to people who are on a suicide mission to save children. And that is a good thing to say about that. I mean, if they save the children. So yeah, this is what I see about this chart. So this is a strong Procyon chart. And we have Oskar Schindler. There's, of course, I will look at Oskar Schindler. Again, missing the last decan of Capricorn, Chiron, degree away from Deneb Algedy, 22 degree Chiron. So this is, yes, this is a person who needed to curate a wound around to being in situation of kill and be killed. Saturn in Aries during war, and in a world degree. So this was very prominent action, tending to his own Chiron and saving people from being killed. Was actually curating for his own Chiron. That is, and it's not necessarily the motive. You could be a child killer with that. So, or just he could be a Nazi with that. To be very honest, he chose differently. Um, or not. I don't know. Maybe it was a double agent. I have no idea. So yeah, Pluto Venus 23 degrees Gemini, Neptune Uranus opposition. Yes, again, Moon in Aries. So this is first decan of Aries very likely, and first decan of Aries is a decan where to be a bit more diplomatic than Austin. He has Mercury there, or a lot of something, I don't remember. But this is a decan where you understand that to be sovereign, the world needs to change, and you tend to change it. Okay, so this is in a malefic. It can take the malefic twist of kind of like wanting to rule the world, but in a more like in a less Luciferian and a more logos type of thinking, is just understanding that my own meditation with myself, Aries, thinking, what if everybody did that? And I understand that everybody's doing something that if they thought, what if everybody did that, they wouldn't do. So that needs to change, and then you try to see how do you create that change. One could say, yeah, if you're a sovereign, of course, people that had MK Ultra were more susceptible to mind control because that's what they erased identity. But yet, even if okay, people have so much, because so much energy has to be invested to keep people in that type of slavery. It means that the soul or fragments of the soul or fragments of the consciousness identity, they always tend to glitch. They always tend to, and this is, I guess, how people got benefits from the Nazis during the Second World War. Okay, this is just a famous study case. So that is one. Yeah, I'm talking about situation, when you need to save the children and you need to give food to somebody or care smuggle somebody. Mercury, Andromeda constellation, again, but Hitler had, okay, a degree away or 2 degrees away, also Mercury there. So we do have the Den of Algedy. We do not have the last decan of Capricorn. We have the first and the second. And this is with Uranus. So this is a person who would rebel a structure. Raw Neptune. I don't know. Raw Neptune could give you organized crime or drug lord as well, or national drug lord, world-class drug lord. But in that case, it was weapon trade, right? This was Schindler. Yes, he was doing weapon. That's the guy that was doing weapon trade, no? So this is yes, could give a pragmatic persona. But again, that is what I see here. So the Den of Algedy here is strong. And I think we have two more study cases. One is Irena Sandler, which is, yeah, I'm good with the time, strong Den of Algedy and strong second decan of Capricorn. She saved 2,500 children, okay, 2,500 children from concentration camps, or from before they entered concentration camps. That's the point, okay? And they had to settle one of them in each family, some in Sweden, some in Great Britain. By the way, Palestine Gates, but the land of Israel, which by then already had a Zionist settlement, that they worked with the British, they closed their gates. So there was no. That's something that's important to know. They were deporting people prior to the Second World War, and when they wanted to transfer these children, Palestine gates were closed. That is something we all need to thank the Swedes and the British. I guess we're kinder than the Zionists. In that, at that time, okay. So that's something that needs to be said. I mean, but Venus, Sun, and Chiron, very close to them, to Den of Algedy. Venus, Sun, trining Pluto, and the bisextile with Saturn, again Saturn in Aries here, would give us a lot of protection for her endeavors. And she got arrested, she was tortured, but somebody bailed her out. And this was another useful thing. Any more things I see here? Mars trining Uranus, again, successful rebellious action. Very good to have Mars-Uranus harmonious aspects when you need to rebel the structure. Saturn sextile Pluto. Saturn is a new structure. By the way, the concentration camps were made when Saturn was conjunct in Uranus on Beta Persei. By the way, usually when I saw Saturn conjunct Uranus in Sagittarius, I actually saw people that built a new field of science. Okay, so don't be scared of this. But on Beta Persei, it created, and I think it was with Mars, it was a triple conjunction where they built the concentration camps, labor camps, and so on. So Saturn in Aries, we're about to have an ingress this month of Saturn into Aries. Saturn in Aries, new structures, new foundations. It's going to ingress with Neptune, so we're going to see the dissolution of new structures because it's Aries. Okay, it's not the Capricorn, and that's important. We will also see new structures going viral, okay, for new hospitals, new this, new that, but we will also see the demolition, the dissolution of actually new structures. But because Saturn is old, so there can be the dissolution of old wars as well, or old conflicts. but the creation of new ones. Okay, like it's Cold War time in the best of cases. And Saturn sextiling Pluto, challenging as it is, it's about evolving a structure, in this case a new structure, and this would have an onset with the concentration camp. Before they even enter the concentration camps, she took them to other structures, to families in Sweden and in Great Britain, not in Palestine or Israel, because the borders were closed, and the Zionists and the British were already there. So that was something that we need to consider, but neither did the Palestinians. I don't know how much access they had to do that, but they weren't really opening their gates. So this is yes, and the last chart that I look at is Nicholas Winton. And by the way, I got these charts on YouTube. You watch children that were saved during Second World War, child saving operations. Don't do child saving operations because you get all the military operations that could kidnap them to MK Ultra. Also in this case, but but that's kind of like more the individuals. Yes, I do say that. And so, by the way, those who I will say that Trudy Verstegen, okay, the people maybe don't like that she mentioned some names, but she also mentioned Achbun's name, and so perhaps you can be more fond of her after that. And so, if Trudy mentions a name, it's usually not for good. That's that's the case. So here we have Deneb Algedi, Mars Deneb Algedi, trining Pluto. This was a broker that saved 669 children. There's a search and rescue unit in the IDF called 669. I don't know if it's on that name, and I don't know if it was really 600, like how, whatever. But he saved children as well, and again had to transfer them. By the way, the Nazis sent the sexpionage to spy on him to see what is he up to. Okay, and when they discovered he only wants some children away, and he could buy, he could bribe. So this is the thing, he was a broker, so he could bribe people. He was a power broker, and with his story that he tells, that when they wanted to smuggle the children, okay, they paid the Nazis, okay, they paid some, but then when they actually had to transfer the children, they had to pay more, and you just had to get the money. There was a very limited amount of crime that you can do in that limited time, and there's also very limited type of crime that you can do, because if you get caught for crime, then and it's true that the mafia is the one that catch you, but still, and that creates a situation where you could blow up the entire operation. So that person had to know his way with money, had to be cunning, had to be persuasive, and he had to withstand power of sexpionages. So in this case, he had to be transparent. So what more? Saturn, yes, again, Saturn in a nice sextile to Pluto and to Mercury. So this is giving him certain power. Sol separating from a trine to Uranus, but here the strong part is indeed that Deneb Algedi, the Mars-Pluto harmonious aspects. Okay, this is where you get the funding to do what you want. That is the point. Pluto Mercury here gives him the depth of understanding issues to do with children, issues to do with trade, children trade. Okay, broker. Okay, it's just the usual. Yes, and we understand that these people to be in that position is. Very likely they had to do other things as well. Anything more that I see interesting in this chart? So the strong, okay, so we had some Deneb Algedi prevalence. Where we didn't, we had some Andromeda, not always the second decan of Capricorn, which it does have this Uranus here, and the Procyon. And so You see, you would need to know astrology, because either of the three could give you, okay, help. Deneb Algadi, very protective of those activities where you have a righteous cause and you need to do it. Procyon, very powerful for when, let's say, yes, let's say I live in Israel and I want to tend to children in Gaza, okay? I cannot tend to children in Gaza, and most of the children that I will see in Gaza are children that are basically the expandable children of Hamas, okay, for the Muslim Brotherhood of Satan. Um, and so I need to first of all understand that you're smuggling them from there and not from the IDF, okay, and not directly from the IDF. And so, but I could with Procyon, especially with Midheaven in Israel as conjunct in Procyon, tend to Nachlaot. Okay, but we had 300 children abused by, in that case, it was Orthodox Haredi people, but it was absolutely not just those, and there were done rituals in those children. Okay, so Procyon would say, okay, where do I tend to that in my lineage? Where do I tend to that in my village? Kind of like clean your room, okay? And through understanding that and tending to that, now because you are tending to that in your own village, in your own lineage, in your own family, then you request that as a standard. This is what helped Nelson Mandela to face both the controversy of his tribe that left him for 28 years in jail, okay? And don't tell me that all these people couldn't unite and break into jail, okay? And because he was controversial within his own tribes, but also to face apartheid regime. And he did it by changing the costume of what? Bloodline segregation. Okay, for allowing to be, yes, a little bit more of that it's not one bloodline that will be the king, and to marry a woman from another tribe, but also to learn what the people that brought the apartheid brought that was benefic. So that was why he was so controversial. Um, and this was, Kay had also controversial things about Israel, saying, well, don't assume that the enemy of my enemy is my enemy. Okay, or not my enemy, something like that. Okay, anyway, he was a very intelligent person, but Procyon, and it allows you to be favored, which is very important. So Procyon would get you to be favored. Aldebaran would get you to be victorious, okay, even cunningly. It can be victory at any price, yes, but you have to understand this is why you have to pick your battles with Aldebaran, because like you maybe you're granted victory, but then would you be happy with that victory? That's the issue that anybody should ask themselves with Aldebaran. And by the way, Israel has Mercury Aldebaran. Yes, it successfully kidnapped children, but yes, maybe we are fighting them today with Yemen. Maybe it's Yemen's children. Go figure. So, um, and yes, Deneb Algedi protects the underdog, but also protects you when you are on a mission to do something that's actually right. And Andromeda to save those that are kidnapped. But then also Hitler had Mercury on Andromeda. Yeah, I think I saw one Antares, and pretty much that is. And the last decan of Capricorn, the deacons of Capricorn. So the first decan of Capricorn, I actually don't remember what it is. The second is the prepper's decan, which you would need to have, because the prepper's decan is basically where, especially the second 10 degrees, okay, it's 10 to 20 degrees. And this is to know what to prepare for when you need to do such operation. The third one is having a commanding persona and be able to allocate things, okay, not to have to do it all yourself, okay. If the entrepreneur Aries is about doing it all yourself, then Capricorn is about allocating, it's about other people doing the job for you. So and in that case you would need to have a team. That is important. More things. Twice I saw 5 degrees Virgo. I don't know. I would need to learn maybe more about the decan. And Virgo can give you good managerial qualities, but that's in general. The fifth lunar mansion, yes, I didn't see it a lot, but it's always helpful. It's the luckiest of lucky. It's a eureka. It's balancing the spirit and matter. It's solutions that come from original thinking, and that is something that I love working with. Um, so that is, and again, this is together with chart of Eichman. Yes, it's just like, it's a simple child, but it's also not a child saver child.